Let's get into some shite, shall we? Greetings and welcome to the podcast that you're listening to now. This is Out of Tune Podcast. Hey, I just had a swallow of hot apple cider, and I almost choked on it. I didn't know when the show started if I was actually going to be able to talk. That's why I was a little raspy. I'm not always full of rasp like that. How you doing out there? Today's a nice little blustery, nasty, wet day in Atlanta, in case you're wondering. A little cold, which is great, like it, but a lot of rain, and we're going to have a fire tonight because it's a little cool out there. Kind of seasonal, but that's fine with me. You know, I like that. I do like the seasonal stuff. This is the Out of Tune Podcast. I don't know how you listen to podcasts. Sometimes people build them up and then they listen to them all at once. So I got to mention that we've changed the name, and I got to do it for a little while because some people, it might be next month before they listen. Like, what happened? Last time I heard it was apocalyptic. What's going on? So here's the thing. I changed it. It was apocalyptic. Now it's the Out of Tune Podcast. If you want to know why, look at the website, outoftune.com, OUTTATOON, outoftune.com. And there's an explanation. You could go to the web to Facebook. Every place that you went before, I've changed all the names. And there's an explanation on why I did it. But we're already in it now. People who are listening, we know. We're caught up. So maybe you should do it too. Christmas tree is up. I put it up this yesterday. It went up. I think the first in the neighborhood to do it. Barely. I see them around in town, driving around. We're not the first in town. I know that. But we're the first in the neighborhood, I hope. There might be one person I haven't seen. I don't know. But I think we're first, and that's a good thing. But we do have it up. The cat has already, Atticus has already climbed the tree. Actually, he climbed the tree before I even put it together. Put a picture on social media. He's halfway, like, I had two more stalks to put in the tree. I just had, and he was already sitting on top of the tree. That's what that cat does. Anyway, we got that up, so we're feeling festive. Start putting up more decorations this week. Oh, man, I love it. I like doing the early Christmas. Why not? There are people get mad about it. I don't know why people get mad about it. Why, if I want to put a tree up in April, is that whose business is that? It's mine. It's just mine. Just lighten up. If I want to do Christmas in October, just like Hobby Lobby does, I can do it. It's my business. All right. Yeah. Okay. Like I said last time, we got stickers that are coming in. If you want a sticker now, here's all you got to do. So I'm going to request a couple of requests for you. All right. But I'm just going to say, if you want a sticker, all I'm going to do, it's free. The stickers are free. I'm not going to ask you to pay for them, but it's not free in the way of like service. I'd like for you to do a little something for me, and I'll tell you what that is here in just a minute. But I also want to say stickers will be in, I think, next week, possibly this week. And then I just put the new merch up. This is all the Out of Tune merch. Now, I had like 2 shirts, apocalyptic shirts. And for the people who bought them, thank you. They still work. You could still type in apocalyptic.com and you're going to go to the website. This will continue. So don't worry. It's not bad advertisement. Keep wearing your shirt. Still good. But if you want to buy a new one, that's fine too. So I have like 4 or 5 designs now. I can't remember, 5 or 6. Who knows? And I'll add more as we go along. But the merch is up at the website, outoftune.com, OUTTATOON, outoftune.com. And you go there, right there on the front page, you'll see a lot of shirts. And they look kind of cool. So get you one for Christmas. And buy them for your aunt, buy them for your grandma, buy them for your parents if you want. They're not that expensive. I try to keep the prices low. Here's what you could do, though. If you do buy them, just keep in mind this. I don't get rich off of anything that I do here. I rarely make $1 from anybody. So the merch, if you buy a shirt or anything, I might have more something at some point, mugs or something. But if you buy them, I just make $1 or $2 off of it. The rest of it goes to whoever the printer is, and I get almost nothing. But it does help to put the podcast out, you see. So it helps to defray costs of the promotion, the publishing, the storing, all of the stuff that it takes to do this podcast, which isn't horribly expensive. Fortunately, I don't think I could do it if it was horribly expensive. But to buy a t-shirt every once in a while, throw a couple dollars in, and you can always, if you want to just, I think you can go to the website. There's a place you can do a donation. You know, if you get a little extra money and you're like, oh, I think I'll throw in a 10, a 20, 1,000. I don't know. Whatever. I can't tell what kind of money you're going to be making, but you could share the wealth if you want. And that goes a long way to helping me to make podcasts free. I don't do subscriptions. Right now, I'm not doing advertisement. I might do advertisement. I'm not anti-advertisement. I just don't have enough people listening for anybody to want to do an advertisement. But advertising is cool. But anything just to make a little bit extra money and help me put it out will be helpful. And I would appreciate it. Just tremendously appreciate it. All right. I asked you guys what your favorite non-traditional Thanksgiving meal is. I got a few responses. They're kind of cool. I don't have one. I'm always eating traditional. So my traditional Thanksgiving when I was growing up was turkey and dressing. Then when I was 31 years old, I became vegetarian. I had to learn to eat new ways. I had to learn new things, and I found fake turkeys and things like that. I don't even remember what I ate in the early days. There had to be something. But as time has gone along, the vegetarian options have gotten better, more tasty, and closer to like real turkey. So people like me who don't want to have real turkey for whatever reason, and there's a lot of reason people become vegetarian. Sometimes it's medical. They can't eat meat. You get bitten by a certain tick and meat tastes horrible. That's true. It could happen to you. But I've been doing it now for almost 31 years. Next year, exactly half of my life will be vegetarian. It's amazing. But I have the vegetarian options now. And that at one point would have been a non-traditional Thanksgiving for me. Now it's very traditional. So that's it. I don't really do anything non-traditional, but you guys do. And I got some pretty interesting things. Dan said he prefers ham over turkey. There's a lot of people who do. I know. I love ham. I used to love ham. I don't eat ham anymore. Dan says he once served a barbecue turkey and he loved it, but his sister thought he was nuts. She was horrified. Barbecue turkey. I could see how that would be good. So if you're going to make a barbecue turkey, I would just say make like part of it. Don't make the whole meal. Not everybody likes barbecue. Just like some of it, It's enough for you, and some other crazy people love barbecue. Same with the ham. You can do barbecue pork. Pulled pork? Oh, yeah. Why not? Denise says she doesn't eat traditional Thanksgiving at all. So she makes spaghetti with garlic bread, and that to me sounds great. That's one of my favorite meals anytime. Anytime. I've never had it on Thanksgiving, though. I wonder if it could be good. I think it's fine. Do it if you want to. Betsy says she has Chinese food, and she has Chinese food on Christmas. That's good. Chinese food is good. I just noticed where my favorite Japanese restaurant is open on Thanksgiving night, so you can come and have dinner there. And now I'm kind of thinking maybe I want to do the non-traditional and go have some ramen on Thanksgiving. That just sounds really good to me. Finally, Gary says he has lamb. He's had lamb. He said, here's what he says. He said events in his life recently have kind of forced him to have non-traditional meals. And so he's had lamb and bear for Thanksgiving. I don't want to have anything that's going to eat me back. All right. Bear. But he says he hasn't decided what he's going to have this year. He probably has already because Thanksgiving is like 2 days. But bear, wow. I don't even know what, I can't imagine what, I've had some weird stuff, but I've never had bear. I would think it's like a really tough steak. People say chicken, it's like, oh, it tastes like chicken. But a bear, I don't think tastes like chicken. I would think bear is like a tough, gamey steak. If you've had bear, Gary, you can, I'm going to stop calling him Gary and now he's going to be Barry. No, that's another name. Let me know what bear tastes like. I can't imagine. I'm just imagining what I think it could taste because I've had deer. That's very gamey. But bear just seems like it'd be really tough. And again, I'm not going to kill a bear. That was my rule with shark. I would never eat a shark because I don't want a shark to eat me. Right? All right. So for Thanksgiving, this is what I'm asking you to do. Just to show your thanks about the podcast, to show your thanks that I do this podcast once at least, and often twice a week for free. Put it up there for free. Work so hard putting it together. You could tell. I would like for you to show your thanks by posting the podcast on social media. I don't care what social media it could be. Just post something. You don't even have to put a comment if you don't want to, but maybe say, I like this podcast. I listen to this podcast regularly. You should give it a try. That's cool. That's all you have to put. Something like that. Post a link so your friends can listen to it. And then if you do that, tag the podcast, Out of Tune Podcast. Just do a little tag on it. And I'll give you stickers. Free stickers. Just all you got to do, once you do that, let me know what your address is, and I'll send you stickers. No questions asked. I'm not even going to ask what you're going to do with them. These stickers are going to look pretty cool. I'm going to put one on my car and maybe a couple other places, especially around town. I'm going to put, there's a couple of sticker poles downtown Decatur, Georgia. I'm going to put a couple of them on there. See if we can get some people to listen to the podcast. But you can get them for free by doing that. It's an easy thing, right? Other ways to participate, we do have a listener line, 678-348-0008. I talk about that line again. I'm going to give it again because my voice cracked. 678-348-0008. It's a lot of eights. And you can call that. People send me stuff. Sometimes people send me like selfies. I got a selfie this week. David sent me a selfie when he was young and when he's now. I was going to say old. Now. So I don't care. It's your line. You can send me anything. You can make comments. You can make criticisms. You can make suggestions. I love the suggestions. But it's basically for you. And then if you want to actually put your voice on the listener line, I would put that on the podcast so people can hear you and whatever you want to say, whatever your opinion is. Otherwise, and you can also text it. Like I said, I do get some text. And then I do have I have email, rick@outatune.com, OUTTATOON.com. And Facebook and Threads and Instagram, the Out of Tune podcast, we're all over the place, everywhere. And then you can download the podcast like hopefully you know, from almost any place that has podcasts. As we change over the name, it might be a little hard to find. If you can't find it, let me know. I'll make sure that you can find it. All right. I'm working harder for this podcast, and I'm doing more blogging. So you can always go to the website, outatune.com, check the blog section, and you can, hopefully I'll have some things of interest. Sometimes I comment on things here. Even today, I'll be commenting on a couple of things, and I'll just post some additional information on the blog. And that way you could go there and then you could catch up. It's just like a little extra. And it doesn't even cost anything. It's free. All right. Okay. And remember, just keep that in mind. Little thank you post. That helps me out so much. All right. It doesn't cost you anything. But if you do want to pay for something, that merch, boy, that's some good stuff. Can you imagine finding that on your tree this year? I'm hoping. All right. One thing you're going to see a lot of this year, one thing you will, and you may have already been seeing it, is angels. Now, I see that's the one thing about Christmas you see. I don't know what angels are. Do you know what angels are? They're kind of messengers. I think it was George Carlin that used to be like, why doesn't God just do it himself? Why is he always sending a messenger? And I don't know why. I've never understood why the angels need to be there. And so even in like when Mary just has to find out she's pregnant, God got her pregnant. So he doesn't want to do it himself. I don't know if he's embarrassed, ashamed. I don't know. It's like, hey, look, I don't know if you know this, but, well, you're pregnant. And I don't know if, I guess maybe it's better coming from somebody else. If God showed up and he'd be like, yeah, I got you pregnant, Mary. I don't know. Maybe it's easier if God's like, look, I don't want to talk to her. I mean, I did this, so why don't you go down and talk and see what she says? Ask her if she likes me. Tell her, see, just kind of feel it out, Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure things out. It's not clear in the Bible. All I know is angel shows up and says, hey, Mary, look, you're going to have a baby. And Mary's like, what? I'm 13. And they're like, I know, but you're going to have a baby and it's going to be a really big thing. And every year, kind of, around Christmas time, your baby's picture is going to be everywhere. They're going to have statues of you. And this guy, I'm not telling you who it is yet. You're going to marry him. I'm not going to ruin the surprise. All right. But it's going to happen. I think you know who it is. That old guy. Yes. Yeah. You've been thinking about it. He likes you a lot. And you're like, no, I don't want to, but you're going to have to. I'm just telling you. All right. And then they're going to have like little statues. It's going to happen. No, like 2,000 years from now. Seriously. They're going to make cookies with your picture on it. Can you believe it? Can you imagine if there was a way someone could have told them back then? They're in the barn. They just had a baby. It's the worst scenario. Nothing, no medical anything. They're there with the cows. And if the wise men could have showed up and they were like, oh, by the way, this is all going to be documented in sugar cookies in about 2,000 years. If they could have said that, nobody would have believed it. That would have been insane. It's like somebody telling you right now that you're going to be some kind of a big... People are going to be naming cities after you, and you're going to have cartoons about your birth. I don't know. It's insane. Anyway, angels, they're part of it. They show up in their robes, halos. They're holy creatures, I guess. The thing is that their angels are a part of it, all of it, because they're kind of these. No matter what story, there's some kind of angels that are involved. And I looked it up, and in the ocean there are angels. Did you know this? They're angel ocean angels, but they call them sea angels. Do you know what a sea angel is? I just ran across this, and it's fascinating. And I was like, okay, I got to talk about this on the podcast. Sea angels. These are actual creatures that live underwater. Now, you know what sea monkeys are? They're kind of, to me, they remind me of sea monkeys. When I was a kid and I got sea monkeys and I was like, what? This is it? That doesn't look anything like the cartoons. This is what I got? They look a lot like that. But honestly, they look more like the cartoons than the sea monkeys do. They look a lot like angels. So they look like butterflies. The little butterfly worm thing that's in between the wings, that to me is what they look like. They got the big head, the long body. They have little devil horns, what do you want to call them, antenna. They're not real antenna. They can't get cable. They can't get anything. They're translucent. You can see right through their bodies. And they're kind of like pink and red. And you hit them with light. They're just like fluorescent. There's rainbow colors. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, I looked them up. I wanted to find out about the sea angels, and then I discovered that they're pretty freaky. They're pretty cool. Now, sea angels, I'm going to read the what they really are, their classification, whatever. They're called gymnosomata. Gymnosomata. So it comes from the words, the gymno, it means naked, and the somata part means body. Basically, they mean naked body. These angels are naked, and they kind of are, but they're oh man, they're kind of cute. I gotta say, they're kind of cute. So they look like little, they look like little devil angels. They have the little horns, and then they got these little wings that sort of flap, and when they're in the water, the wings are flying around, and they go around. They just look like little devil angels. They're really cute. So they are pteropods. Now that, if you know, like snails and slugs, a lot of people call them sea slugs. They're not really sea slugs because they're actual sea slugs. But these are, they're kind of like sea slugs. They're very gelatinous. You know what I'm talking about. You could kind of see, right? They're mollusks, really, is what they are. And they don't have shells, or if they do, they're not visible. I think they're born with shells, and then they lose the shells. And then they grow to be like 1 to 3 inches long. So they're really little tiny guys and girls. But you're going to find out that doesn't matter. They, hold on, I got to get my glasses. What did I do with my glasses? Here we go. All right. I wrote something really small that is important, I think. Yeah, they have tentacle-like appendages on their head. So they're like buried in their head. They have these like tentacles. So they look kind of peaceful. They look like these little peaceful angels with the little horns. They could be like their halos. And they're floating around with their cute little wings. And then they eat the sea butterfly. Really, they eat sea butter. Now, sea butterflies actually live in a shell like a snail. But even though it seems like they're protected, oh no, they're not. The sea angels can swim really fast. They can swim 4 inches a second. That's the same as like a goldfish. All right. So they could swim really fast, which is like twice faster than the sea butterflies. But they kind of basically like jump onto these sea butterflies and these tentacle things. They have like hooks and barbs, and they pop out of their heads, and they go into the shell, and they just grab like flesh. They grab tissue, and then they eat that. That's how they eat the sea butterflies, with the little things on their heads. Is it gross? It's nasty. Takes like 45 minutes for them to get in there. They go through this almost like a dance. They're just like struggling, blah, blah, and then these little tentacles come out. This looks like something from Aliens. And it's like grabs it and then pulls it and then they eat it, and ugh, nasty. They are hermaphrodites, which of course means that they have both sexes inside of them. So they start off as male, and they turn into female. And the way they mate is they kind of the two of them get really close together, and then there's like a little sucker that comes out and then kind of like fuses them together, and then their genitalia turns inside out, and they're like hooked up for like 4 hours. I don't know what kind of stuff is transferring between the two of them, but that's happening. It's really disgusting. And then what happens is babies in the body, all right? The babies are in the body growing, and then a lot of times the babies get big and keep growing, and then they cause the bodies to explode. They kill the parent. Just the boom, exploding. That's how the babies get out. It's like parental side, is always called parent side, mom side, dad and mom, by the way. You got both of them. The ocean is weird. It's like Australian animals. You know, there's some weird, a lot of times most of the animals that you know about in the world that are like just like opposite of everything in the world come from New Zealand and Australia. It's they grow them different down there. And it's not a judgment. I'm just saying some of the most unique animals. And these are from everywhere. These are all over the globe in a lot of ways, but very unique, very interesting. The more you know, right? But look them up. I think I might post a photo of one. They're cute. They're actually really cute. That's kind of what I wanted to to say about them, though. Cute sea angels. So when you're thinking of angels this year, when you're singing Angels We Have Heard on High, think of sea angels. And look them up and see what kind of damage that they could do. All right. I'm sucking down my my cider. Look, I have another piece here, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold off on it. We're getting, it would take me too long to do, so I'm going to wait just a little bit before I do anything. So let's talk Thanksgiving. I want you to enjoy Thanksgiving and have as much food as you want. To me, I think it's really important just to have people that you like around. My wife and I are going to kind of get together, and I think we got a couple people who might show up. That's kind of good. But I'm determined this year not to overeat. It's a problem because my wife likes to cook and she puts together a lot of stuff, a lot of really good stuff. But we have the traditionals with mac and cheese and potatoes and dressing and stuffing and turkey and desserts and I don't know, green bean. I don't know, just a lot of crap, a lot of stuff. And I try to eat it all. And I end up eating way too much. So I'm making it a goal to try not to. Just get like a spoonful, right? Just a tablespoon or a teaspoonful. Put it on your plate. Eat that. See what you feel like. I can't remember when I was a kid. I was just cramming it in my mouth. Can't do that anymore. So I'm going to... That's my task this week is to be really careful and not to overdo it, right? Because what happens is you overdo it. Like this is what happens when you get old is you overdo it and then you get really, really sleepy. And then you immediately want to go lay down. And then you get acid reflux because you got all that food in and you're laying down horizontal, and that's not ever a good thing. So got to be careful. Take care of yourself. Make sure, I don't know, take some enzymes, take some Pepto, take some Tums. Just, be healthy. And then the next day, everybody goes shopping. I'm not shopping this year. Cutting it out, won't do it. Now, podcast-wise, today, let me explain. Podcast is supposed to come out on Monday. Today is Tuesday. I actually really honestly forgot yesterday was Monday. That's ridiculous. But it really happened. My wife is off all week off her job. She took the week off. So she was home yesterday, and we just started doing things. We were involved in stuff around the house. And it seemed like Sunday. It just felt like Sunday because she was home. She's never home on Monday. So I forgot. I totally forgot. There were like 2 or 3 times I was like, I got to do a show today. And then it just left. So at the end of the day, I actually like, oh crap, I forgot to do a show. It's Monday. And I'm trying to stay on schedule. So I had to do it today, Tuesday show. But it works out because I don't want to do a show on Thursday because it's Thanksgiving. So this is why I'm telling you this. Don't expect a show on Thursday. I will have a show on Friday. So this week, we're Tuesday and Friday, okay? Show will be on Friday. And we have the show on Tuesday. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. It's not an excuse. I totally screwed up on getting things right, but sometimes that'll happen. As long as I do a show, it's fine. Okay. Tell me what you want for Christmas. I got connections to Santa. I'll let you know, and I'll read them on the air. What you want for Christmas? Just drop me a line on Facebook. Send me a message. I don't care. Call the listener line. I want to know what you want for Christmas. And I'll make it happen, I swear. Most things. All right. Friday, we'll talk then.